with some announcements. Our first test is scheduled for February the 12th. Oh wow, that's 1 week from today, which means on Monday the 10th we'll be reviewing for that test. What do I mean by reviewing for the test? Well, I'm going to be answering questions and working problems off of that review sheet. This week we had to do lessons 7 and 8. Lesson 7 is that cut point stuff, which actually we started, I think, on Wednesday the 29th, cut points. And 8 is our first assignment dealing with graphing. Oh, it's doing that stuff. Let me fix this. So that should stop that. And we're going to finish that up. We're almost finished as it is. There's going to be 2 homework problems that I meant to change them before the semester began, and I forgot. So if some of you have already done every problem on the homework for lesson 8, those of you working ahead of me, and that's great. There were 2 you didn't have to do, and they've been removed. So when you click on it, it'll say, you've got credit for this problem. It's been removed by the instructor. The week after your test, I had initially said that I would be absent on the 17th, but let's hold off on that. I'm going to be absent either on the 17th or the 19th, not both. Okay? It depends on whether or not the Timothy Precella's treatment at MD Anderson ends here or here. If it ends on the 18th, then I'll be absent on the 17th. If it ends on the 19th, I'll be absent on the 19th. So what am I saying? Well, let's wait until next week. By next week, hopefully, I'll know which one of these days I'm going to miss. Okay? Now, speaking about the review for your first test, where is that thing located? Well, here's the Pearson MyLab homepage. Document sharing is where I'll post things like the review and the class lecture notes. Okay? At this point, here are the things that y'all have there. For me, I have a lot of stuff, but I just use this as sort of cloud storage. If I need to find something, I can always just log onto my math lab and scan through document sharing. Here are the classroom notes from, what did we do last time? Absolute value, intro to cut points. Well, you know, maybe I didn't post the notes. I know I scanned them. What were we doing the last time? Cut points and graphing? Well, heck, I guess I haven't posted them under there, have I? Well, isn't that, again, how to make a really good impression? But this is where I do post them. Yeah, I don't have the thing, so I posted it. I scanned them. I guess I just forgot to put them up under document sharing. Okay, darn. But as for the review, here it is. When you click on one of these document sharing things, it's going to download it somewhere. Sometimes it'll ask you where do you want to download it, or it might just download it automatically into your download file. This computer downloads it automatically in the download file. And here's what your test or the review sheet looks like. And this is also what the test will look like, except there's going to be 20 problems on the test, not 25. And the test is in a random order. So there's the review sheet. Here's the review sheet worked out. Looks sort of messy. Okay. If you go to my YouTube channel, let's see, you just search for my last name, Precella, no I's, no S's. Usually I put math and that pulls it right up. This is where I'm recording or putting up the, I definitely did the videos I made on Monday. On Monday I went through the same discussion of, absences, stuff like that. Oh, I hope this volume's down. I don't like to hear my voice. Oh, it's cut off there. So I went through and discussed some stuff about your at-home quiz on Monday, showing y'all how you can start it and stop it as long as you don't click submit. Okay? Then, let me see, back. I also went through, we did cut points and then an introduction to graphing. And the introduction to graphing is using those little graphing tools. Again, there's volume here. Remember those little tools that we were using like this? Okay. So we did problems 1 through, I think it's 6. There's 5. The last thing we did was what was that tool called? It was a 4-point cubic tool, if I'm remembering correctly. And that's where we left off. 7 and 8 are the 2 problems that have been omitted. Also here on my YouTube channel is that review sheet worked out. To get to it, you look at the College Algebra playlist. That would be Math 13-14. This playlist here is just the video lectures. Next week, once I've worked out the review sheet here with the green backdrop, it will be there under class lectures, unless I mess up and forget to hit record or something. If you view the whole playlist for just plain Math 13-14, starting with video 87, is that it? 87. Yeah, Math 13-14 review problems 1 through 9, then 10 through 19, 20 through 25. So this is once again on the Math 13-14 playlist on YouTube. And everything I'm saying here is going to be recorded and put up on YouTube. But if you can't find the stuff on YouTube, it's going to be worthless. You trying to, so telling you how to find stuff on YouTube is sort of stupid, I suppose. Okay, but problems videos 87, 88, 89. That's me just working out that review sheet. And if you're wondering what review sheet, this one. Okay, the same one I'm going to work out in class on Monday. So, also, under assignments, this is something I discussed the last time. You have practice for at-home quiz 1, and I made a note on there that this is graded. It's going to count as a homework grade. Now, the at-home Math 373 quiz 1, that's determining the intermediate algebra grade. Okay, so sometimes students say, well, I'm not going to do those. I'm only going to make an A in college algebra. That'll be my course grade. Well, great. You still need to do this practice, because these practice problems are stuff like, let's see, what's his number 15? Have we done anything like that before? Yeah, what's the name of the method you use to solve something when it says solve and there's a less than or greater than? 2 words, cut points. Okay? So, there's that. When you start the quiz, it's basically those same 15 problems. I'd already started it, and there's 120 minutes. I've used 2 minutes. So if I want to, it says finish the test. Well, if I want to continue the test, notice Isn't this number 15 similar to that other one? Okay. Now let's suppose ring, 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 someone calls you, you have to go and do something, you get called into work. Do not click submit quiz. You're not finished with it yet. What can you do to get out of the quiz? You just close it out by clicking the X. Okay. Changes you made may not be saved. They're usually saved, but they're not graded. Okay. You say leave. Okay. And I can still go back in later and finish it. But once you click submit, it's done. It's going to give you a grade. And if you've only done one problem, or if you haven't done any problems, it's going to give you like a 0. So it'll give you a bad grade. Okay? Any questions on that? The quiz determines the intermediate algebra grade, or the quiz average determines your Math 373 course grade, unless your college algebra grade is higher. Okay? Now, let's see. Christopher asked about problem 4. Let's see. This is off of, okay. I think I'll just do this problem number 4 right here from cut points before we finish up the graphic. Okay? So, Christopher, does yours look like that one?
Yes.
Let me see if I can make this a little bigger without. There. Okay. So, this is number 4 off of homework 7. I'm doing a cut point problem that we didn't do this exact same example the last time, so we're going to do it now. Let's see. Let me write the problem down. This is problem 4 off of homework 7. X minus. Oh, by the way, for your in-class exam 1 week from today, I'll bring blank paper like I use up here for scratch paper. If you need to use lined paper or want to use lined paper, notebook paper, you'll need to bring it yourself. Okay? So, let me work this problem out. So, I'm doing problems 4 off of homework 7. Will there be a denominator cut point here? Yep. Let's see. I think I gave y'all a little list of the steps for these. Am I right? Okay. Let me see if I had any left over. You start off by finding the solution cut points, and you find the solution cut points by replacing the inequality with an equals. And then you find the denominator cut points. Here there is a denominator, so you say denominator can't equal 0. So I'm doing the solution cut points first. Negative 7 over x minus 2 equals negative 1. Now I'm going to write that negative 1 as negative 1 over 1, because normally when I see an equation in the form fraction equals fraction, I do the cross multiply. Okay? So if I cross multiply, I have a negative 7 equals, is that a negative x and a plus 2? I guess the smart person would have put this negative on the green 1. I wasn't the smart person. Boy, why didn't I do that? But there's a good example. How do I solve this when there's that negative x? Here's what I would do. I would move the x to the left to make it positive, and move this minus 7 over by adding 7. So can y'all follow those arrows, what I'm saying to do? You're adding x to both sides, and you're adding 7. Is that going to be an x equal 9? That's the solution cut point. And to look at the or to decide between open or closed circle for the solution cut points, you look at the symbol. If there's an equal sign on the original less than or greater than, then it's a closed circle. If it's just strict less than or greater than, it's an open circle. So what's this going to be? It's going to be an open circle. Now, the next thing we do is find the denominator cut points. Let's see. So looking for finding the denominator cut points. That is where the fraction is undefined. Well, the denominator of a fraction can't be 0. So what's that denominator cut point going to be? X can't be 2. 2. Does someone else's problem have a 3 there? Yeah. So draw a number line now. Oh wait, open or closed circle. Well, you can never have a 0 in the bottom of a fraction. That's why I'm saying not equals. If I put a 2 in for x, I'd have negative 7 over 0. If you type that into your calculator, or punch it into your calculator or phone calculator, it's going to give you some sort of error undefined. The denominator cut points, those are always open circles. Always. So for solution cut points, you look back at the symbol. Right? If there's an equal sign, closed circle. If there isn't, open. For denominator cut points, it's just always open circles. I'll draw a number line now and label these two numbers. Oh, pretty easy to put them in numerical order since they're both positive numbers. 2 would go here, 9 there. And no time did I do any sort of factoring here. Everything's linear. This is going to alternate. So let's choose a test point. You can choose any number as a test point other than 2 and 9. You cannot test the cut points. What number do I normally use to test? 0. So where does 0 lie on this number line? Between the 0 always lies between a negative and a positive. It doesn't lie between two positives. So this is where 0 lies. If someone asks you, so you're taking that 6-hour algebra class at the end of the semester. They say, what did you learn? You can tell them, I know how to find 0 on a number line. Okay? If you want to sound fancy, you can say, I know how to find 0 on a real number line. Okay? But there's no such thing as an imaginary number line. The imaginary numbers are unordered, as are the complex numbers. So you can't put them in order on a line. So to say a real number line is sort of redundant. So putting a 0 in for x in the original problem, I have a negative 7 on top. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Negative 7 divided by negative 2, is that well, negative divided by negative is positive. So as soon as we know this is positive, I think we know whether this is true or false. It's 3.5. Is a positive number bigger than a negative? Yes. So true. So if this one's true and these things alternate, true, false, true. Okay. Uh-huh. Yep. So to write your final answer in interval notation, it's the shaded intervals, and you must write them the way you see them on the number line from left to right. Put parentheses at the infinity symbol, then a 2, close parentheses. Yes. Mm-hmm. No, it's just a matter of what number you're testing. The last time I was worrying about this, giving y'all the wrong impression that you're always supposed to test this interval. It doesn't matter. But the last time when I was doing the problems, 0 was always in the middle interval. And later on I thought, I should probably do one where 0, it's just a matter of where is 0. Like if you want to test between the 2 and 9, you could use 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that would give you a false statement. But at the same time, you could have tested a number between 9 and infinity, like 10 or 11. It doesn't really matter as long as you know which interval you're testing. This is the one I'm testing. It's true, so the others are false, true. And there still seems to be a doubtful look on your face. Oh. Oh, you're getting like true, true, or false, false? Oh. Yeah. Huh? If you have it might not alternate if there are repeated factors. There is a video somewhere on that YouTube playlist of one that my brother made up where it doesn't alternate, but for your purposes, they alternate. Okay? If when you start factoring it, if you're getting the same thing in both sets of parentheses when you're doing trial and error, you better test every interval. Okay? But for your purposes, that never happens. Okay? Let me write down this answer. It'd be union 9, infinity. And then I just want to show you that if you had chosen to test a number like between 2 and 9, say a 3, if you had tested 3, I would have -7 over 3 minus 2 is 1 is greater than -1. This one might be a little harder because they're both negative. -7 over 1 is -7. Is that true or false? Is -7 bigger than -1? No, I think it's better to have your bank account with -$1 than -7. So that is false. And if you had chosen to test between 9 and infinity, I always test wherever 0 is. Whichever interval it is. The first one, second one, or third one. If I test 0, I'd have a -7 on top. Not 0, 10. Okay, I'm testing 10. And then a 10 minus 2 is 8. Oh, this is one that definitely students might have trouble deciding true or false. -7 over 8 is greater than -1. Well, that is a true statement. If you punch -7 over 8 into a calculator, you get a decimal number. That's -7 over 8. -7 over 8. -0.875. And -1 would be bigger. Smaller, Okay. And so this is a true statement. It's better to have negative 88 cents in your account than negative $1. Okay. So I'm not sure if I've adequately answered that question or if I feel comfortable with my answer to it. It doesn't matter which interval you test, as long as you make sure that you're testing the interval that your test point is. That's why I asked, where's 0? The last time 0 was always there right in the middle interval. Okay? That's why when Christopher asked about this, I thought, okay, good, maybe I can do one just to make sure that I didn't incorrectly give the impression that you're always testing there in the middle. But you certainly could say, if that's going to be your rule, I'll always test the middle interval. Okay. If you said, okay, I'm going to test a number between 2 and 9 every time, you would have gotten false. You'd still have the same final answer. And just so you'll believe me that it's correct, let me punch it in. Right here. Parentheses, negative infinity, comma, 2, close parentheses, union, parentheses, 9, comma, infinity. Oh, what's just happened? It just started spinning and spinning. 9, comma, infinity, close parentheses, check the answer. Okay? And there's the one we did a week ago today. Okay? So, Chris, does it seem any better?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Christopher, I should say. Oh, okay. Okay, so, any questions on that? Yes. Now let's go ahead and finish up. Oh, crap.